Hello, I'm Chief Ed Hudak of the Coral Gables Police Department. Welcome to our orientation session for the communications operators positions. I want to take a moment and thank you for your interest in becoming part of our public safety family. You see, in police work, communications operators are the first line between the police and fire and the residents and visitors to our city. It's not an easy job, but I don't think it's really a job. It's a calling. If you want to be that person that makes a difference in someone's life when they need it the most, communications operators are definitely for you. So I congratulate you on your interest in our department. I welcome you to our family once you successfully go through everything else. And in the following clips, you're going to see a little bit more about exactly what this great calling can be for someone in a career in law enforcement. Thanks a lot and stay safe.
Coral Gables 911, what is the location of your emergency?
To be a successful dispatcher, you need to have a lot of different abilities. You need to be able to multitask. You need to be a good listener, have good retention. You have to be able to work under some stressful situations.
We handle a variety of different things that happen between taking phone calls, talking on the radio, dispatching units.
You definitely have to have a lot of patience. A lot of times people are calling, they're in distress, and they need to hear a voice that's calm and cool and collected. And you also need to be able to gather as much information from the person who's calling in order to relay that information to your officers or your fire personnel.
Some of the misconceptions about being a dispatcher is that it's just a job. It's just a call center type job.
We don't only just answer the phones. We'll answer 911 calls, non-emergency calls, administrative things. We work with other agencies, other city departments. We deal a lot with code enforcement issues, non-criminal matter type questions.
Chest pain calls, elderly falls, heart problem calls, breathing problem calls.
Sometimes emergencies, you gotta make a good decision, and you've gotta make that good decision rather quickly.
You help people on a daily basis. You are the first on the scene. When officers respond to a call, you already are there with those callers on the phone, and you can very well save a life. So what's unique about working for the Coral Gables Police Department is that we are a very tight-knit group. We're like a family here. We know everyone, from the records clerks to the officers, to the parking units, to the firefighters.
We're definitely service-oriented, and we're pretty much a big family. We're helping each other, trying to get our day-to-day tasks complete. Definitely you will make mistakes, and that's okay. As long as you learn from those mistakes and you improve from them.
Take it one day at a time, not be overwhelmed. There is a lot of information coming at you, and there's a lot to take in, but we will teach you everything you need to know to be able to do this job. And if you give 110% of yourself, you will be very successful.
Coral Gables 911, what is the location of your emergency?
I'm over at the Village of Merrick Park, and I think there's a guy trying to break into a car.
Okay, where exactly at the village are you located?
I'm right in front of Neiman Marcus on San Lorenzo,
Where is the vehicle parked?
along the meter parking on San Lorenzo.
Okay, can you give me a description of the vehicle?
It looks like a white SUV, possibly a Toyota.
Okay, and what does the subject look like? Is it a black, white, Hispanic, or Asian?
Looks like he's white, about 30 years old.
Okay, and what is he wearing?
He's wearing gray pants and a...
Black jacket? Does he have any weapons on him?
I don't see any weapons, but he's got a Slim Jim and he's trying to get into the car.
Which side of the vehicle is he trying to make entry?
He's on the driver's side of the vehicle.
Is he by himself or with somebody?
Yeah, he looks like he's by himself.
Do you see a vehicle that he may be associated with?
No, I just see him next to the car. I happen to look over and I see him trying to break into this car.
Perfect. I already have units dispatched to the area.
Bravo 102, take a 26 to a vehicle in progress. 342 San Lorenzo, Village of Merrick Park.
Bravo 102. Show me en route from Bird and his unit. Bravo 102 is to 26 vehicle in progress.
342 San Lorenzo at the Village of Merrick Park. For the complainant, they're advising it's in front of the Neiman Marcus by the metered parking. Subject's a white male.
With dark hair, wearing a black jacket. Subject should also have a Slim Jim.
And they're trying to get into the driver's side window of a white Toyota SUV.
Bravo 102, QSL, arrival in the area.
Our training program can take anywhere from 9 to 12 months. You'll work a variety of shifts and you'll have exposure to a variety of trainers.
We want to make sure that we give the trainee enough time to learn the material, put it into play, and then be able to perform on their own before they're released from one position to the other.
You train in police, fire dispatch, call taking, and teletype. They all average about 8 to 10 weeks. And there's also supplemental training that you do have. You have EMD, CPR, FDLE training.
You don't necessarily have to have any type of training when you start this job. We will prepare you to be able to handle any type of call that comes your way.
There just isn't a typical day. You just don't know what you're going to walk into. You can have a totally slow shift, or you can walk in and you can be working a major building fire, a robbery, tons of medical calls.
There will be days where you will handle very high, stressful calls, and you need to be prepared for that.
In communications, we handle a variety of duties. We're not only a call taker, we're not only a police dispatcher, we do a little bit of everything. Fire dispatch, we also work in teletype, and that's where you can enter, for example, stolen cars, missing individuals, run background checks. Every day we're assigned to a different aspect of the center, so you are kind of not doing the same job every day, and that makes it pretty exciting for me, at least, where I know I'll come in today and be the police dispatcher, and tomorrow I'll come in and I'll be a call taker.
So I became a communications operator 20 years ago because I had a passion for law enforcement, and after working here for some time, I quickly realized that this was actually a better career choice for me and my family. And I have found that it's very rewarding throughout the years.
Initially as a career, I wanted to be a teacher. I put my studies on hold while I trained here. I passed the position, I became a full-fledged operator. I went to school part-time, I worked full-time. And then after a while, I realized that this job actually was providing very well for me and for my family. It would provide a really stable future for me in retirement. So I decided to put my teaching plans on pause, and 19 years later I'm here. So it is a very good, stable job to have, and I'm actually very happy that I made that decision.
Most people, when they call the police department, they're not usually having the best of days. So at least you could try and provide as much help as possible and try and guide them in the right direction so that whatever issues that they are having, you're a part of the solution.
You know, been on the line when they've called and there's a baby that wasn't breathing, and then I got to hear them breathe.
I started here initially just to be an operator, but I realized throughout the years that I'm really making a difference in others' lives. And also just being a role model to my children and seeing them proud of me is just the most rewarding thing that I could ever ask for.
My kids think it's cool. All the kids think it's the coolest thing in the world.
I've been here for 14.5 years, and one of the things that keeps me here as long as I have been are definitely the opportunities that we have.
That I could be a part of something greater. You're not just working for an organization or a city. We are like a family here. We're very tight-knit. We all know each other. And when there's an emergency or something happens in your life, we all pull together. And that, to me, is just, it's so comforting to know that we work for a city that really cares about their employees.